But joining us now, just off the autograph, is Josh Allen.
How's it going?
Autograph circuit. How'd it go? Did you get everything signed? That was really your job today, right?
Try to. Yeah.
Do you notice, is it more autographs these days, or is it selfies?
There's been more selfies than last year, but I'd still say it's more autographs.
Really? Yeah, okay. Yeah, a lot of people, when you go out now.
I think selfies are a little cooler, though.
I do,
a little
too.
more personal.
I do, too. I agree.
Is it quicker? It's quicker.
It is quicker.
And you can give an autograph away to somebody else, right, that wasn't there, right?
Or sell it. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And the selfie, not so much, right?
Exactly. That's you and me. It's our.
That's right.
Did you ever
experience.
get autographs from sports stars when you were a kid?
A couple. And I just kind of explained, I remember being the kid, asking for autographs from a major league player or a professional football player.
Weren't we all that kid at one point?
And I remember
who do you remember?
Buster Posey, for one. I was a big Giants fan, so we knew a guy that had tickets. We can go in the tunnel where the locker room and the dugout, they walk through, and they can come and sign and say hello and stuff like that. And there was one time, I won't mention any names, but there was a player who came out, had a really good game, turned his head, didn't even look at us, didn't wave, didn't do anything, and I just felt so bad. I was so mad. I was so frustrated. Me and my brother were crying, and I was just like, if I got to that point, I wouldn't do that. I remember being that kid.
Do you guys remember a basketball player? He's a Hall of Famer, Calvin Murphy.
Sure.
Played at Niagara University.
Like 5'9".
I've got his autograph still. I got it when I was 8 years old. He played at Niagara. Yeah, 5'9". I've still got it at home. I still have it in a little. I'm not giving that up.
He was an icon in Houston. I played for the Oilers. He was still kind of hanging around Houston as a retiree, doing a lot of stuff in the community. He was kind of iconic. Yeah.
Speaking of autographs, we're going to get to football, but you spent a lot of time over the last several months, the dry period between mini camp and the start of this camp. You were all over the place. On the golf course at the American Century Classic, there's a lot of celebs there. You didn't get any autographs there, I hope.
No, I didn't ask for any. I should have. But no,
it'd be fun. That looked like fun.
It was a great time. And I was one of the youngest guys there. It was me and Kyle Fuller were kind of the young guys. But everybody else was 28, 29 and up. So,
they're so old.
I walked in and everybody's like, hey, what's up? And I'm just looking at everybody. And I'm like, I know a couple people here, but I just don't know personally anybody. So, but it was a cool experience to be in that room and to talk to some NFL Hall of Famers. And
who made an impression on you?
Marcus Allen.
Really?
He came up to me. Obviously, we share the same last name, so he came up to me and says, that last name means something. So that was really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you did that, and you played a little golf there. Did you go to the U.S. Open at Pebble?
I did. Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. Were you hanging with Joe Montana, did I see there?
Yeah, we had a little deal going there. It was really cool. Got to kind of pick his brain a little bit. He's a good dude. I've met him one or two times, but see him in a different environment, obviously, and just kind of.
What'd you pick his brain about? What do you have to tell us?
Just as far as shoulder prehab and stuff like that, he had just had a couple surgeries, and then he was just telling me how to take care of my shoulder. Yeah.
And one more thing I wanted to ask you about, again, off the field, but I know early in this break period, you were in France, right, at the
Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah, how was that?
That was, a bucket list item for me.
Really?
Really?
Wasn't a huge F1 fan before that, but now going and seeing it, and I got asked kind of last minute to go, and me and my girlfriend and my agent, we hopped on a plane and went there and got treated superbly, and to see how fast those cars are and just to hear how loud they are, TV just doesn't do it justice.
Did you get a load of how those guys work the pit stops?
Oh,
it's unbelievable, right?
Out.
All four tires, gas, everything, and it's like 3 seconds or something, right?
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. It's pretty fun to be there, right? Yeah. So you got back into Buffalo, and talk to us a little about how this process has gone. I know you went out in California. You're working with Jordan Palmer and your boy Sam.
Yep, and Kyle.
It's been a little bit of a whirlwind, right?
Yeah, I just felt like this offseason is so long, though. And I've said that to a couple players, and you're crazy. And I just want to play some football. I wanted to get back and get back into the swing of things. I love being on the schedule and just talking ball. I love camp. Most people, I don't know how they treat it, but this is awesome for me. I love being with the team and developing that camaraderie and those relationships.
With Josh Allen, Bills quarterback Josh Allen, spending a few minutes with us here as practice number 2 ends. Steve and I were talking yesterday about what a different setup for you at camp than it was a year ago. You're in a bona fide, and it was a pretty straightforward 3-way quarterback competition at this time last year.
Yeah.
Not so this year, right? You're getting a lot of reps and a lot of work here.
Absolutely, and it feels good to be in this type of position, but, didn't have Cole in OTAs, didn't have Mitch in OTAs, so getting out there, trying to get as much reps as possible, throwing to them, taking snaps from them, talking with them, communicating with them, little things like that. Coach talks about the sooner the better we get things dialed in, so we're on that track. We're very communicative. I really like what we got going on here. It's a special group to be around.
Let's talk a little bit about how the team's evolved. I mean, this is your second year. You've seen, and it happens every year. There's, even if on steady and established teams, there's like 12, 15, maybe even, 20 guys that are going to wash through, going to be different. And so every team's really unique. What's so far, second practice, a training camp, and the OTAs, what's unique about this one?
I definitely think it's how we talk. Coach alluded to a point yesterday to everybody, quiet teams don't win. We take that, and I've got to be communicative to the offensive line. I got to hear their checks, their calls, and I got to make sure that if I see something else, I got to be communicative and fix it. Then I got to look outside, and I got to be able to communicate with my receivers, and sometimes you have to do that without talking. Signals and being on the same page, sometimes it's as little as, it's an eye or a nod or a look or anything like that. So the more we're able to rep these things in practice, the better we're going to be able to apply it to the game field.
How would you describe, whether it's a percentage or whether it's just a word or a description, how much different this is inside you, this training camp, having been around one lap in the NFL, gone through last season and the ups and downs, and to come back? How different a guy are you?
I don't want to say it's a night and day difference, but I think it's close to that.
Right.
I think with the guys that we've got here, we've got a lot of professional players on our team,
right.
Guys that really take their job seriously. I'm not saying that we didn't have that last year, but I think the focus that we have right now, it starts with Coach McDermott, gets kind of trickled down through Dable, and then through each position coach. And, Tremaine and myself meeting with McDermott and trying to delay or portray the message that Coach wants to get out and talk to everybody in the locker room. Having guys like Lorenzo Alexander and Frank Gore to, talk to everybody and be those spiritual and emotional and vocal leaders, it's awesome, and I think it's a very different feel this year. But at the same time, we've got a lot of work to do. We got to get better. We've got to improve every day we come out here, and that's got to be our mindset. And I think that is.
Josh, yesterday, Steve and I had noticed, we talked about it on the show, and you mentioned the professional aspect of it. And I guess I didn't see a lot of them in the spring and didn't see very much at all of Cole Beasley. But those two, you could tell they are professional, bona fide NFL wide
receivers. John Brown.
And I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, John Brown.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They stood out because they've been around a
exactly, and they've obviously been in the league for quite some time now because they do things the right way. They talk about it, and they want to get better. And, to have some younger guys in that room and to have them as kind of like the role models or pictures of what you should and shouldn't do, I think it's great for our young group as well. We've got a lot of guys that are learning from them, and it's fantastic. I'm learning a lot of things from John. I'm learning a lot of things from Cole. I'm learning a lot of things from Mitch.
How looking forward, and even up to this point, how different has it been now, not only for you being a different guy and having a whole year of experience, but also, looks like maybe as many as 7, 8 new starters on the offense. It's going to be a whole new group of guys almost completely.
Yeah.
How do you look forward? How's that going to change things for you going forward? I mean, that's got to be it's like a new team.
Yeah.
On your side of the ball.
For sure. We go through each day, and we've got to have that same mindset of getting better. I know I keep repeating that, but, we're still kind of shuffling in pieces and shuffling out pieces, and, nothing's set in stone. Anything can happen any given day, but, we're trying to – me and Mitch got to be on the same page. We went out and we got him, and he was our guy that we wanted, and I'm super glad we got him. So me and him have to be on the same page to relay everything. And then with the guys outside, whether it's Zay, Robert, Ray, Isaiah, Cole, John, the list goes on. Whoever I say, when they get in, they've got to know their stuff, and we got to be able to communicate and be on the same page. So when they're running a route at 12 yards, they need to be at 12 yards, and I got to put it where it needs to be.
So how often do you non-verbally communicate with those guys?
Oh, every play.
Yeah,
every play, it's nonverbal. It's a look. It's, I'm looking at the defense. If someone's off, and it's little subtle things that a lot of people can't see. But it's going to continue to get better the more we rep.
We're with Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Just a couple of minutes left. You did a news conference post-practice yesterday, and somebody asked you what's the big thing you need to improve on. And I loved your answer. It wasn't, this throw or that throw or accuracy or arm strength. It was decision-making. Can you talk about that, where you see that need is, what you need to do to make better decisions, and what kind of decisions are we talking about?
Well, I mean, today for the first time, I was pretty pumped. They were showing double A gap, and it was 3rd down and 2. And I had switched the protection. I was moving it left, and at the snap, everybody jumped out. And at that moment, I was like, I can see Frank in my vision right here. I see Micah dropping out. let's just go to him now. Let's get the ball to somebody that's short, but it's going to get the first down. And instead of messing with everybody dropping out this way, I went straight to my outlet and Frank. And, I think that was like the best decision I made all day.
There were a couple of passes and again, there was a long team period in the middle today. And a couple of passes you just zipped right over the middle. And you hit like 4 or 5 or 6 in a row. And Steve and I turned to each other up in the press box there watching and said, he's feeling it now. Did you have that sense during practice?
Yeah, absolutely. And, every practice is going to present different challenges, and Coach McDermott does a great job in scripting practices and giving us different situations to kind of put us in a bind. But today was mostly third down. We're going to get a lot of man. They're going to try to mess with us and fake pressure one way, drop zone the other way. So just going through my progressions as quickly as possible, seeing a guy open, throwing a guy open.
Right. Was there was a lot of fake pressure, and I wonder if you're farther ahead than where you were a year ago in terms of the Bills feel comfortable showing you those looks, right?
Absolutely.
Defense, right?
And I mean, everything that kind of boils down to is protection. Knowing where you're protected, knowing where your hots are, knowing where your answers are. If you get, crossed up and you set it the wrong way, and they come and they're right, because the defense gets paid too. We've got a great defense on the other side of the ball. Mike and Jordan have been doing a really, really good job of disguising things, and it makes it tough on an offense when they can do that. So it's just knowing your answers when you get messed up.
The install's going on schedule. Is it a lot of this now probably is reinstall of what you did in the OTAs and all that, and you're just trying to polish it up. How big a problem is it for you? It seems to me most of these training camp practices, it's a throwing league, no question about it, but running game's not going to happen until they put pads on. You're not going to get a sense of the real timing of that part of the game until you really get into really games. I mean, they're not going to pound each other on these training camp things. How big an issue is, and how much thought have you guys given to the running game, how that's going to affect the progression through this training camp?
I mean, we know when there's no pads on, it's a little different, and guys can't get up to the second level as much. And in practice, you want to practice smart. You don't want to go and cut your guys and try to hurt somebody. I'm not saying you want to go into a game and do that, but there's a different aggression when you're playing a game. So we're smart about it. I think Coach McDermott kind of relays that message to us of playing smart, keeping each other up. But I will say that we got some dudes up front that are mean, and that's why we went out and get them. They're smart and they're tough football players, and they're not afraid to stick their noses into things. So when pads get on, I'm anxious to see. It's going to be a good battle between our defense and our offensive line.
Josh, your quarterback room here at camp you're the only one returning from last year's quarterback room at camp. What are you getting from Matt Barkley? What are you getting from Ken Dorsey in this camp?
Obviously having Matt there last year, just kind of seeing, how he developed and how he processed the game and how he thought about things. Seeing how he throws and how he leads guys, and that's all great. But his mental aspect, seeing what he thinks about on different protections, because he's been in a few offensive systems now, and when there's something that he likes, he's going to really relay that and let Coach Dable know, and it's going to be an open discussion. And then Dorsey, I think the difference between this year and last year is having Dorsey. Dorsey knows his stuff. He's played the position. He can give great insight on what to do in certain coverages on our concepts. And Daves doesn't need to be in the meetings with us. And that's one thing that's
it's gotta be
awesome.
Good for him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So Dorsey's been fantastic, and we're going to continue to develop that relationship as well.
You good? You got a question?
No, go ahead.
I'm going to wrap it up unless you got something.
Oh, no,
I know Josh looks like he's getting ready to go.
What are your expectations when you come out of this training camp?
Let's ask him our Twitter poll question.
What's
the biggest difference?
We know you're going to get better. You got better week by week last year. We watched you, and from one week where this week, you threw it away when you actually maybe tried to fit one in last week, or you ran out of bounds once when after taking a hit the week before. So you got better step by step. What are people going to notice about you this year, about your game? What do you think is going to be the big step forward?
I think just being with a year under my belt, having those game reps, I think quicker decisions, going against a great defense every day like ours, that's going to help us, on the offensive side of the ball. So it's going to be quicker decisions. If it's not there, really thinking, find my outlet. If it's not there, scramble, make a play. If that's not there, just throw the ball away. Making smart decisions, allowing our offense to survive another downs and survive another day. And at the same time, the job of the quarterback is to move the chains and score. So that's what we're going to try to do this year.
Right. Thanks for this. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Josh Allen, Bills quarterback. Steve and I coming back in a moment. One Bills Live from Bills training camp on Buffalo Bills.